Hello everyone, my name is Lucifer and welcome to my channel. Today I want to speak a little bit about sets. In a previous video when I spoke about defenders, I approached a little bit what was the best sets for me for defenders. Very important. This is my opinion and my experience in the game. That doesn't mean that I am 100% correct, and other content creators and other players have different opinions. So what happened is that what I will show you is the sets I use, why I use them, and speak a little bit what set I think it's better. Okay? So first of all, let's go quickly to the defenders. Why? Because it's a very simple situation. For me, the defenders, the best set that you can use in a defender is the Guardian set. Why? Mainly because your defender, what you want is for him to keep alive. You want him to stay alive. So what you need is that he needs to receive less damage. So what happens is that if you are using a Guardian set, he has 15% less damage taken. This is enormous. This is brutal. Make your defender a lot more tankier. So probably is one, in my opinion, probably is the best set that you can have in a defender, except specific situations. If you have a defender that you want to do some damage, that is the case of, for example, Torador, that you want him to give a little bit of damage, you can use him in a different set. For example, mine is not perfect at all, but it works. I'm using him an inside set. It works. It's not perfect at all. For me, for defenders, the best set that you can use is Guardian set. I wish I had all my defenders in Guardian set. Unfortunately, I don't have, but I have, for example, my Captain Reeve, one of my my most used defenders. I have Oleg too, that probably Oleg, Captain Reeve, Regulus probably are the most used defenders. So they use Guardian set. You can use Glacial if you want him to have a little bit more attack, but in general, this is my opinion. Guardian set is for sure the biggest set for a defender. Quickly going to healers, you have two types of healers. You have healers based on attack and healers based on defense. That, as you know, it's very, very simple. One healer heals based on their HP. One healer heals based on their attack. In this case, for example, Sadie is a HP healer. My opinion, all the healers should use Invigoration. Sadie is not in Invigoration. Sadie is in an Asclepius set that gives 10% more HP and 20% and 20 healing effect, not percent. It's not the best set, but I didn't say this is the beginning of the video, but I say it now. What happened is always stats over sets. So I look for the stats. The sets are an extra. In this specific case, it's the set I have with the better stats for her. But I try that my healers, for example, Eloy is in an Invigoration set. Why it's so good? Because first it will increase the healing effect by 25, and when you deploy the hero, it will give 10% of attack to one random healer in their range. Very, very important, it's in their range. So that means if you put Halloween in one side of the map with no one in their range, she's not giving this Invigoration set to an ally, okay? So why this is important? Because this way your healer is not only entering the field to do their job, but at the same time it will increase the utility. So for example, Gwen, the same thing, is in an Invigoration set. She enters automatically she will give 10% attack to someone in their range. Gwen is very good because she has a very good range, so it's very easy. My Midan, the same thing, invigoration set. I wish I had invigoration sets for all my healers. Unfortunately, I don't. Maybe in the future. But, for example, Hollow, another example, invigoration set. The ones I don't have with this specific set, I use Accepturius, like I said. It will give the healer a little bit more tankiness, because this way you have 10% more HP, and it will increase the healing effect, so it will help to give a little bit more heals. Is not as useful as the previous one, but is a very good set too, and it works very well. So now let's go for damage dealers. Why? Because damage dealers are the kings and queens of this game. If you kill things fast enough, you don't need to tank them, and you don't need to heal anyone. Okay, with the new codex, the things are a little bit different, but in general, this continues to be a game of damage dealers. That means that they are the kings, and for that reason, you have a lot more sets that benefits damage dealers than any other. So, in damage dealers, you have basically 3 sets that are very, very good. One of them is the Soulbound Arcana. The other one is Infernal War and Aegis Wrath. First, I will give, because this is in Discord, I saw a few times people comparing Aegis Wrath with Night Terror. So it's very, very simple. Night Terror, it will give you an advantage for short fights. Ageless Wrath, it will give you an advantage for long fights. Why? Increased damage by 25% for 3 seconds after making a critical hit. The other one is critical damage 30% plus critical damage 30%, that is done, and then critical damage plus 1% every time you make a crit until you reach another 30. So that means 60 critical damage if you do 30 hits. Okay? What happened? What happened is that if you are in a long fight, you will reach these 60 hits, these 30 hits to reach the cap of 60 critical damage very, very quickly. But if you are in a short fight, or for example, normally I use my hatchet, I deploy, I take her, I deploy it again, I take it. So what happens is that she doesn't have the time to reach those 30. That means in a short fight, for example, Night Terror is superior. In a long fight, you will have superiors in Aegis Wrath. Infernal Roar, basic attack damage plus 40%. Okay, this is very, very good, especially in champions that their ultimate is basically an increase of their basic attack. In this case, for example, Silas, Zilitu are the perfect examples. So what happened is that the Infernal Roar will give you 40% basically in every attack, because every attack is a basic attack. This is extremely important, because if the attack changes from the normal basic attack to a special attack during the ultimate, this 40% will not be added. So you will be, and most of the damage dealers, the best thing is doing damage during the ultimate. So there is when you want the 40% more. So that is why it's very important to decide what is the best set for a specific hero. Soulbound Arcana. Soulbound Arcana is an amazing set. After the ultimate is cast, damage increased 10% permanently. This is amazing because you can stack this for 5 times. So if you have a long fight, if you have a hero that do these 5 ultimates, that means you'll have 50% more damage, what is very, very important. In this specific case, the best heroes to use these sets, if you are speaking a long fight, is not that important because in a long fight you will have these 5 ultimates probably in almost every hero, but very, very important is if you can have heroes with a short range necessity to cast the ultimate. For example, a good example is Ardeas. Ardeas has a cast for the ultimate 600. That means that every time she reaches 600, she's activating her ultimate. So it's a very short number. If you compare, for example, with Kamet, it is 1200. That means in generally, what will happen is that Ardeas will do 2 ultimates for each one of Kamet. This is very important for us to understand how can we use our sets in a better way, in a more effective way. Ardeas is the perfect example where you can put a Soulbound Arcana because she will pop her ultimate a lot of times. Some examples why I feel these sets are the best ones. I want to give shoutouts to another set that I personally like. I already saw some content creators saying that they don't like that much. I personally like, and this is my opinion, and this set is the Fracture set. Increase critical damage by 45% when HP is above 70%. Why I personally like this set? Because most of my damage dealers, for example, I use Arrogance with this set, I use Valkyrie with this set. Why? Because where I use them, especially this type of damage dealers that I normally put behind the tank because they are range fighters, if I'm using this set, it's because I don't believe they will suffer damage. And in the end game content, what will happen is that if your fighter, not all fighters, you can see Abomination, that is a little bit different, Wrath is a little bit different because they have a certain susceptibility, you can keep them alive in a different way. But normally, Valkyrie, Arrogance, if you put them behind a tank, the idea is that if they are suffering damage that reduce their life to less than 70%, they will not last for long. So basically, these fighters, even when I use them in the Immortal Codex, it's behind a wall. The idea is that they will keep their life or their HP in a very high percentage because they will not suffer that much damage. And that is the reason I personally like this set, because in some types of heroes, I don't feel the need that I need to worry about if they will be full HP or not. Of course, this set, it's a very bad idea for someone like Ardeas, or Valeria, or Cerberus, or any other hero that increase their damage when you have less HP. So in this case, it's counterproductive. But in a normal hero, I think it works really, really well. Another set that I want to speak that I really think that works very well with AoE damage dealers is Curse set. The Curse set increased the damage by 6% for up to 5 times, depending on the quantity of enemies you have in your range. So for example, if Kamet is hitting one enemy in his range, what will happen is that he is earning only 6% of damage, of extra damage. But for example, if he has 10 enemies in his range, he's going to earn 5 times 6%. So in that case, he's earning 30% damage because he can go stack until 5 times. So if you put this set in a hero that is a single target hero, 6% is not that much. But if you are putting this set in champions that are specifically AoE, like for example Comet or Cerberus or Vierna, for example, it will work very well because you are increasing 30%. The other sets are good too. Most of them bring something to the table. My opinion, in the end game, these are the most used sets exactly for this, because they give you more, they make your team better, and they bring more to the table. So I hope you like this small speech about sets. I thank you so much for watching my video. I hope this helped a little bit. Maybe my opinion is a little bit controversial, but like I said, it's my opinion. I am not 100% right in everything I say. I hope this helped you in any way.